Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, welcome back to the Baseball Head, and hopefully you like this video. I did not like the end of that game, I'll tell you that. Very frustrating game to watch, to be honest with you, from beginning to end. But that's how you go when you go up against a big ace like Framber Valdez. I mean, in this day and age, he won 15 games last year, which is the equivalent of a 20-game winner back in the day. And he showed it most of this game. Now, this game had a lot of drama at the end. Mets had their shot in this game. 8th and 9th, and they loaded the bases. They got the bases loaded both innings. They had their shots to take the lead in this game and tie the game. Just didn't do it. They scored one run, and that was on the sacrifice fly in the 9th inning by Francisco Lindor. But really, the main takeaway from this game was really Klay Holmes. I mean, everybody's going to remember the end of the game with Soto. Soto had actually a good game. I just had one bad swing on he was just trying to do too much in that 9th inning. He should have just taken the pitch. But he'll come around. It's the last thing I'm worried about is him. But the big takeaway from this game is Klay Holmes pitched 4 2/3 innings, gave it 5 hits, 4 walks, which is a concern of mine because that has been his reputation as a guy who walks a lot of batters. His career with the Yankees, his walk total per 9 innings is over 4. So he did 4 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 hits, and 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. But really, that's the big concern for your host, for me, is those walks. And of course, when you walk a batter, it just extends an inning and makes things much more difficult. Now, he was able to get into the 5th inning, but he's got to pitch 5 innings. The one thing that we know over the last 2 years, when the Mets don't go into the 5th, don't get out of the 5th inning with their starter, it's a struggle. And that's not why they lost this game. They lost this game because they got shut down by a big pitcher. And the Mets did not get any clutch hitting in this game, specifically in the 8th and 9th inning. They had good at-bats that 9th inning. Acuna had just an awesome at-bat, 12 pitches in that inning. It was really quite good. It tells you everything I've said about him is that when the lights are brightest, he performs well, and he performed well in that 9th inning. But obviously he made an error in the 3rd inning that led to the 3rd run of the game against Holmes, and that's how he was able to give up an unearned run. But the big takeaway later in the game, like I said, is they didn't get the big hit. And they didn't get a big hit in the 1st inning. I mean, they had 1st and 2nd with Soto and Alonso come up, and Vientos and Nimmo did not get a big hit. And it was a struggle. I mean, the one thing about going up against a ground ball pitcher like Valdez is it can be extremely frustrating when all the outs he's given up are ground balls. It's extremely emasculating. It's very frustrating. And you saw that through this game, just watching it. Now, they brought in Brazelban. He pitched really well. And Danny Young pitched pretty good in this game. But the big, like I said, late in this game, the team had a shot to do damage offensively. They just didn't do it. They had the bases loaded in the 8th inning. I felt that Brandon Nimmo was going to be very aggressive in his at-bat. He didn't have a good pitch to hit. And he was basically not much of a fly ball to center field. But I knew he was going to swing at that first pitch. He's very aggressive. Extremely aggressive when the bases are loaded late in the game or men on base. He's always very aggressive. Always jumps on the first pitch every single time. And but what's interesting about the 9th inning was that Marte got on. He got a single scored later on. Tyrone Taylor got a hit. And Acuna had a big at-bat with the 12. And then they had Paul Hayden saying, I felt so bad for him against Josh Hader. That is a very difficult spot for any player, especially in making his major league debut. In the 9th inning, on the road, opening day, opening act, he wasn't supposed to be here, and he has to go against that guy. He just overwhelmed him. He does not have a lot of power. I did a video on him on the Prospect Hut earlier today, and he doesn't have a lot of power. And then, I did a scout report on him last night. I posted it on the Prospect Hut. He doesn't have any power. Okay, so if anyone was expecting him to hit a grand slam in that spot, we're going to be sadly mistaken. But obviously, Lindor had a good bat, got a run in, but Soto swung that ball for him. And But that was the best pitch that Hader pitched, threw in that whole inning. Hader did not have his good stuff in that inning. He saved his best pitch for the last one. And he threw a breaking ball earlier when he was behind the count 3-0. Threw right down the plate, and Soto took it, That was a pitch he should have jumped on. Now, people are going to say, well, you know what, Soto is underrated. This guy had one of the greatest postseason at-bats last year against the Guardians in Game 5, where he just fouled off tons of pitches. It was 12 pitches, 15 pitches, or whatever it was in that last game in Cleveland. So he's a guy that knows how to work the count, but he just it was just a bad swing. I don't think he thought that he was going to get a slider in that spot. And for the most part, Hader did not do too many sliders in this game, in this ninth inning. But really, the two at-bats that were key at-bats in this game was the Nimmo at-bat and obviously the Soto at-bat. Soto takes the pitch, we give it a shot with the bases loaded with Pete up. Now I am glad about the fight the Mets had. They still have a lot of fight in them, which is great. Like I said last year, I'm not worried about the 0-1 start. You shouldn't be. We know from last year they went 0-5. And this is a very strong group in terms of their character, and they must have a good manager that keeps things very easy going. He threw a breaking ball right down the middle on that 3-0 count to Soto. You can't, you got to know when that he's going to throw a pitch. And then he just got him on just a breaking ball on the side. Really, that wasn't much of a slider, to be honest with you, but he wasn't looking for it. He was looking for a fastball. And that's why he saw that sort of weak swing. That bad swing. But, yes, the Mets are 0-1. This is the first time the Mets have lost back-to-back opening days. What do they say, 99, 2000? Well, those years finished pretty good. I'll take that. Now tomorrow the Mets will send Tyler McGill. I don't know. I forgot who's pitching tomorrow for the Astros. The Mets do not play well historically in Houston. It doesn't matter if it's in this ballpark, what the hell they're calling it. Enron Field, Tropicana Field. But they don't play well down in Houston. They haven't historically. And I guess they said during the broadcast, it was 11 out of the last 12 games the Mets have lost down there. So the Mets will send Tyler McGill tomorrow, and then they'll send Griffin Canning on Saturday. There's no game on Sunday. They moved up the game, Saturday's game, for Friday because they want to put it on Apple Plus. Hopefully I'll be able to. I'm not gonna be able to watch the game, but I'll be able to follow it somewhere. But I want to thank you for coming by. It's just the beginning of the season. We're not even in April yet, and it's gonna be a great year. And I feel good about this team. When you go up against a big pitcher, he's gonna embarrass you. And I'm not saying he embarrassed the Mets today, but Valdez, but he shows you why he won 15 games last year and why he's one of the best. He can throw a no-hitter at any time. He's done that a couple of times in the major league. So let me know what you think about this video. We'll get him tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button before you go, and I'll see you later.